Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Just Flow with Juhi and welcome to a new vlog. So friends, this is a very important vlog and it's the cost of living in Singapore for a family of 3. In past, I have already made these type of vlogs, but since it's a new year 2025, so I thought why not to make an updated vlog for the same. If you are new to my channel, then let me introduce first myself. So this is channel host Juhi Singh, where I am staying in Singapore for around about now 2 years, and this vlog is going to be completely out of my experience where I will be sharing you with the realistic figures. Without wasting any more time, now let's start the vlog. You can see here the cost of living where I have shared some 9 points and I will be explaining you here each and everything. The first one is the rental. So the cost is everything is in SGD definitely. Now a family of a 3 where there is a husband, wife and a son. If you go for an HDB style of unit, then you might get it at the price of 2700. That is, it can be basically 1 bedroom 1 BHK flat are available in Singapore HDBs, or even in condos you get 1 BHK. So in case you are lucky to find, then you can get an HDB of 1 BHK at a price of 2700, and mine is a 1 BHK HDB where we are staying alone as a family, and this flat has a rent of 2700. So still there are many locations where you can find such reasonable rates. In case you go for a condo, then be ready to pay an amount of between 3500 to 4000. So I am keeping the higher range at 3500 because I don't think it's feasible rent a condo of 4000 until and unless you get a salary of 15000. When anyone asks me that what we should go for, HDB or a condo, so my preference is always an HDB. Why? I have a small kid, and when you have a small kid, you get many facilities nearby your HDB, like you get doctor's clinic, you get grocery store, sometimes you even get these parlors, and dental care is also available near my HDB. So if you are coming moving to Singapore, then I would say that go for HDB. It will be very convenient to you if you are having a kid. Else it's completely your choice. You can definitely go for a condo. Now coming to the food. So now the food depends on dietary habits of person to person and on the consumption of the family. Whereas in our case, we buy a lot of fruits and veggies, milk and egg. So our is like family of 3. The grocery shopping is basically between 1100 to 1500 in a month. As we cook Indian style, so we buy a lot of spices, oil, vegetables, fruits, milk, eggs, and the side items like rice, dal, atta, upama, poha, chai. So for an Indian family, that will be little higher. If you are not eating much, then it can be somewhere around 900 to 800. But if you are a family that takes a lot of food, takes 4 times a meal, breakfast, lunch, brunch and dinner, then definitely it has to be somewhere between 1000. The higher end I have kept here 1750, 1750, but it can be somewhere around 1500. You can adjust yourself in between. But if you are eating good, then you take it as 1000 SGD for a month. Coming to the transportation, where the minimum range I have kept is 150 and the higher range is 250. Now in Singapore, you easily get Singapore buses available outside your HDBs and condos. No doubt these buses take longer time if you have to travel longer distance. In that case, one takes a cab. But these buses are very good and easily available. If you keep your transportation with both of them, like buses as well as with the cab, then the range will fall between 200 to 250, or you don't take cab and you travel only in the buses, then definitely it will be 150. Usually it takes 1.5 to $2 if you are going for a longer distance for a single person. So if you go for an outing as a member family of 3, then your each outing via bus will take not more than $9. In case you take cabs, then definitely a one-time visit will take $20, and if you count to and fro, then it will take some $40 to $50. So again, you can manage your own expenses. Now coming to PUB, that is utilities: electricity, water, Wi-Fi, mobile, gas, and mobile data. Sorry. Now electricity here is very cheap. It's, like my bill is around $50, less than 50 SGD in a month. Now we do have two air cons. You can see one is here and one is in the bedroom, but I don't know, we don't need it much, so we don't use them until and unless it's peak summertime, like in May, June, July. Fans are okay for us, so our electricity bill is usually less than $50. I don't use tube lights during daytime. I have enough of sunlight. So one tip I will give you here: if you are looking for a rental accommodation, then do search for a flat that has a nice sunlight throughout the day, so that you don't have to use electricity from morning till evening. In this flat, I don't have to open the tube light from morning 7 to evening 7 sometimes. It's so much bright light coming inside, so my electricity usage here is very less. The water here is also same. For me, it's like $40 to $50 in a month. That again depends on the usage, how many times you wash your clothes, and how much water you use in the kitchen. Wi-Fi is quite cheap here, so no need to worry, it's very less here. Mobile data is also very less here, and gas is like $40 a month. So I will count here, not 150 but $200 a month you can count for a family of 3. Medical insurance you can easily get from outside medical insurance companies. If your company is not paying you, generally in Singapore, company pays only for the employee. If he is like coming in a post of like head of department of something, like, yes, then you might get your family covered. But usually if you are in a position less than an HOD, then your wife and kid might not be covered in your company health insurance. So you have to buy the insurance from outside, which you can easily get. It's very reasonable, and it is for a family of 3. You can get good insurance policies between 150 to 250. For our healthcare insurance, we pay 70 SGD for every member, so it comes around 150 to 250. Again, it depends on the company of which you are taking the insurance. Now the medical OPD, this does vary. It can be 100 SGD or can go to more than 500 SGD. I will explain you a little bit how. Like, if anything happens, we first go to our nearby GP. So generally the GP charges here are like $30 of the doctor consultation, and from there only you get the medicines, which are again around some $20 to $30. Simple medicines they give. If it's an antibiotic, then the single medicine will cost you around $30 to $40. But if they are generally cough and cold medicine and simple stomach gastric medicines, then you can get many medicines in $30 to $40, and your total bill will vary like less than 100, or take it as 100. Okay. Now if you go again to your GP, for example, you get cold and cough, so one time you visit and then you again visit. If the fever doesn't subside, and if you start coughing, then you visit after 3 to 4 days to get the cough syrup. Now if you visit 2 times, then it will come to 150 or 150 plus SGD. Now if you go to a specialist doctor, if your GP refers you to a specialist doctor, any KKH or NUH, like, so the specialist charges are now starting from 150 SGD to may go up to 250 SGD. Okay, so the doctor consultation only will go to 250 SGD. Similarly, if you are having a kid, and if there are some times when there is an emergency, you rush to NUH emergency or you rush to KKH emergency, at that time the consultation fee only will be around 150 to 200. Okay, so it may vary depending on your family's needs. So I am just taking here a 200 to 400, a rough estimate, because usually if everything is healthy, you are going good, your bill won't exceed than 200 in a month. Now is your weekend outing and other expenses. Now again, it depends on how many days you go out for refreshment, entertainment. Like we as a family of 3, we usually go only once in a week, mostly on Saturdays, because we rest on Sundays. Monday to Friday is my son's school, so Saturday we go out, and on Sunday we take rest. Then again Monday to Friday is his school, and schools here are very long, that compared to India. Kids will go to school at 8 o'clock and they will come by 4 or even 4:30 depending on the distance. So usually it's very tiring day, so we keep Saturday as an outing day. So if you are going only once in a week, then I have mentioned, and that's 200 to 400. Now we go out only once in a week, so we do prefer cab, because we do want to relax. In buses it takes a lot of time, so we book cab. So our cab expense is like $40 to $50. Then sometimes we do eat out only when we go out, so it's like $40 to $50 again. So outing is like sometimes we do eat outside, or we don't eat outside. So it will basically depends on how much you spend when you go out. We generally don't do shopping, only necessary items we do buy. So if you go out, buy cab. If you eat out, and even if you shop at the same time, then you might spend even $100 on the same day. But if you only go for free outings, then it will be very less. Why we have kept it at a range of 200 to 400. Generally our weekend outing expense is ranging between 300 to 400, I will say, if we eat dinner outside, or if we have lunch outside. Now the most important, and that's education of the children. So when you come to Singapore, you don't get admission in local school directly. You have to go for international school. Now in international school, the fees here is very high. So some school take a very high amount of the admission fee and less of monthly fee, whereas some school take less admission fee and high monthly fee. So in my son's earlier school, the admission fee was 3000 SGD and the monthly fee was around 1200. But the second school in which we have put him, the admission fee was 1500, but the monthly fee is like between 2400 to 2500. So you have to be ready for high educational expenses in Singapore. The fees I'm talking about here is inclusive of the transportation. Yes, one tip, you can decrease the your school expenses by taking a rental home nearby your school. Once you select the school, you try to rent a house nearby, so your bus transportation can be decreased and you can easily drop and pick your kid. So your total expense, the lower range will be 6,000 and the higher range will be 9,000. You have to take as a family of 3 if you want to live a good healthy lifestyle. Now some people also here rent a room, like you are a family of 3 and you just want to rent a room. So in that case, yes, you can bring down your rental expenses a lot. In a room rental is like somewhere in between 1000 to 1500 if you go for condo, and 1000 if you go for HDB. So room rental also here people do a lot. So in that case your expenses will come down drastically. But you have to take like a range of 6,000 to 9,000 as an expense, monthly expense, if you are coming to Singapore. So you can now decide what is what kind of salary you expect if you want to move to Singapore. This is very expensive country in terms of education, health and house renting. These are basically the most expensive part for an expat to live in Singapore. So if you like this vlog, do not forget to hit the subscribe button below. I will see you on my next vlog. Till then, bye and take care.